What's up, guys? Welcome back to Almost Functional, here with the continuing ATC breakdown. This is going to be my round 3 matchup, paired into Ultramarines. So he had the Gladius Task Force. Oh, I guess he has to with Ultramarines. Primaris Apothecary with Bolter Discipline. He had Gilliman, 10-man Desolation Squad, the Apothecary in it. 3 Gladiator Lancers, 1 Inceptor Squad, 2 Infiltrator Squads, 2 Scout Squads, a Stern Guard Squad, a Thunderfire, and a Whirlwind. So you see we got a lot of the same stuff. Thunderfire, Whirlwind, exactly the same. I got an extra Scout Squad. We both have 2 Infiltrators. He's got the 3 Lancers. I got the Vindicator and the Ballistus. He's got the Stern Guard and 1 Inceptor. I got 2 Inceptors. He's got Gilliman. I've got Ragnar and the Blade Guard. And then we both got the 10-man Desolation. So very, very similar in a lot of ways, just slight differences. Gladiators have a little more speed. Vindicator has more shots. Ballistus has more shots than each of them. Big shots anyway. They got a bunch of little shots. I do like the Lancers. I just don't happen to currently own one. I might take one over the Ballistus because points-wise and movement-wise, just a little better. I really, really like my Vindicator though. But with all these Lancers, our Ultramarine player had played Ultramarines, and I can't remember if it was round 1 or 2, but they had a couple Lancers and Vindicators, and they just wrecked him. So they had asked me to jump on this, so as I do, that was my role on the team. Try to jump on what couple of them wanted to avoid, just like the Wraith Knight did when we eating Lancer shots. So I was like, sure. And like the Orcs didn't really want to play into Desolation, I don't believe. So I jumped on this grenade. And then, so we'll look at the breakdown. So he ends up getting first turn. And then we deploy. I put my Inceptors in reserve. He puts his Inceptors in reserve. We're counter deploying each other. He has to He has to drop his Desolation first. So he drops them on a building right up. Let me go over the mission first. So this one was Purge the Foe, which is the kill more, hold more mission. We had Chilling Range for no special rule, and then we had the Crucible of Battle, which is the Hammer and Anvil long edge deployment. So he put his Desolation right up in his corner of his one building. I dropped my Desolation out of range of his Desolation, but so that if I got first turn, I could step up and be in range for mine. But if he got first turn, he was going to have to walk out of his building to be able to shoot me. Just was the thought. Looking back at it, I probably should have put mine in reserve, and I've actually made some tweaks to the list to help with that. But just with this version, I should have put mine in reserve. I didn't know if he was going to or not with his, so I was debating it. Well, if I put mine in and he doesn't, he's got that extra. So I just put him on the table, deployed back, hoped to get the first turn roll, and if I didn't, was hoping to push his out, so if he picked mine up, I'd be able to return pick his up. So he wins the roll for first turn. He brings his out, picks up my Desolations, just like I thought. But he had to push up really far, so I was able to, luckily Ragnar's unit had advanced charge, was able to advance them out and charge into them, into his Desolation. So Ragnar's squad picked up his Desolation squad, and from there, now it's a tactical game because neither of us has Desolation, which really, really changed just everything. We both have to play more honest. If I'd went first and picked his up, he wouldn't have been able to counter pick mine up because they would have been protected. And if Ragnar and them hadn't been able to make that charge, then he would have killed Ragnar and them, and then I wouldn't be able to get to his because he could have walked him back in that building. So if either of us had been able to pick up the other's Desolation without in return losing ours, this would have been a 20-0 for that player most likely. 18-2 maybe, but it would have been a heavy win. So I needed to make that play to force him to push out to pick mine up because there's no way he doesn't. He knows he needs to. And then set myself up for reliable charges into him, and luckily I didn't fail those, so I was able to pick up his desolation, and then it was just a game. So Purge the Foe. He got 4 points turn one because he killed my desolation, but he did not kill the character. The librarian actually lived because he only had indirect shots. Ragnar's squad ended up getting in. I popped the strat to give them Lancer +1 to wound, so I ended up picking up his desolation and the apothecary. So that gave me a 4 point lead right there. He drew deploy and capture enemy outposts, which are horrible draws turn one, especially in that matchup we were both deployed. So he got 0. I got deploy and signals, so I was able to do my table quarter one and do one with the scouts, and I walked the scout squad into the middle to deploy another. So I was up 8, 9, 10. So I'm up 11 points. So then he gets Purge the Foe. He ends up holding and killing. So he gets. Then he was able to do. He held on to teleport homer, so he was able to do it in my deployment zone with one of his infiltrator squads. He was actually going to drop them in the middle for 3, and I had reminded him that we had the angle deployment, and he had a spot over here to do it. So I could have let him get a 3, but I showed him how he could get the 5, because that's the way I like to play. If people have all the info and make a bad choice, that's fine, but just make sure. I like to make sure they have all the info. And then he got 2 points for no prisoners for killing. It's hard to remember now. Probably a scout unit, because he moved up to try to charge Ragnar's unit, and I with Gilliman, and I used squad tactics to move them away out of range. I rolled a 5 luckily on that, so made his charge. I think he had like a 6-inch charge, so made it into like an 11. So used squad tactics a lot this weekend. Not day one, but day two when I'm back looking at my stratagems. I'm like, man, this is great. Why am I not using it? So I use squad tactics a lot. And I find it strong. So he only got the 1 kill. So I ended up killing a Lancer that I had put some shots on and wounded the turn before. I believe one of his scout squads and maybe an infiltrator squad. I don't remember. I ended up, or maybe I only killed 2 things. I know the Lancer was at 2 wounds, so I picked that up. I picked up one of the scout squads that came in from reserve on my side. I'm pretty sure I picked up 3 things, but I don't remember for sure. So I ended up getting 12 there. Got a 5 on tempting target and a 3 on engage. So I'm actually building a little bit of a lead here. And then turn 2, same thing. Or turn 3, he's able to kill 2 or 3 units, I believe, and then hold 1. He got assassination and engage on all fronts. The assassination, who did he assassinate? Oh, he assassinated Ragnar. Ragnar finally died, but I had like 3 Blade Guard left. How did he assassinate? I guess it was. He got sniper shots into. He shot 2 sniper squads into Ragnar. He shot 2 sniper squads into Ragnar the turn before and left him alive, and he managed to get the second sniper squad, the one that lived, into him again and finish him off. So he got 5 for assassinate. He got 3 for engage on all fronts. Then I ended up holding, killing, and killing more because got a couple shots, picked up a Lancer and stuff, and then the Blade Guard actually ended up making a charge in and killing one of his infiltrator squads to the man, like on the point. Like I didn't think I was going to be able to pull it off, so that actually ended up getting me kill more because we were tied at that point. So got a little lucky there. This probably should have been 8, but I managed to get a 12. But I got area denial and assassination, which Gilliman was really the only character I could see, or character left because I already picked up the apothecary. And then actually Gilliman was sitting in the middle at this point of the game on the center objective, so I was unable to get area denial or assassination. I just couldn't. The way the buildings and stuff were set up, I wasn't able to get angles to him because I had set up to kill other stuff last turn. So that really hurt me. And then he ends up getting hold more, and kill here. Secure no man's land, defend stronghold. Pretty easy to do for him at that point. I got my 8 for hold, and I got a kill to tie him. Actually, I killed Gilliman, but then he stood back up. So then he got secure no man's land, or I got secure no man's land and behind enemy lines. Uh, and then so then he got another hold more, and kill. I never let him kill more. I did manage to keep that, and then he got area to now investigate signals. I got my kill and hold, and then I got behind enemy lines and no prisoners. So I was actually up going into these turns, but I got a 7 on secondary over the last 2 turns, and he got a 17. So he beat me by 10 on secondary draws over the last 2 turns, and beat me by 6 overall. So I feel like I played this well, especially going second. Uh, if some of these if some of these things had, if I got a little better draw here at the end, I probably could have kept this to a draw instead of 11-9 loss, or possibly even got 11-9 myself. But going second, keeping this to 11-9, that's what the list is designed to do. Because, I mean, I can complain about this here, but he had that there, so really, secondaries kind of balance out over the game. For the most part, it was 22-32 on secondary, but I got him by 4 on primary. So if I go first, I crush this, but I can't. This is a matchup where I should have reserved the Desolation. If I go second, he gets 2 turns of his Desolation just doing whatever they want without me countering them, which isn't necessarily good. But then mine come on, pick his up, and then I have mine doing what they want the rest of the game, which hopefully swings it back. And if I put mine in reserve and get first turn, then I only have to eat him for 1 turn, and then I come in and pick him up. So maybe that was a better play. I am considering taking a drop pod and a 9-man squad with the character, so I can pod them in turn 1, protect him, let him pick up 1 squad, come in, or if I go first, drop them in, pick his up in mirror matches or other stuff like knights, stuff where they get angles on desolations depending on the terrain. And then in matchups where I want them on the table, I could put Ragnar in there with the Blade Guard or Scout Squad. It would just give me some versatility. I mean, you have to be careful where you drop a pod because people can tag it and not get shot. So that's the consideration. But overall, pulling 11-9 out of going second in a mirror match is, I'm very happy with that. And I think I would have won fairly big if I'd have got first turn. And I probably could have won if I'd put my Desolations in reserve. So that's the only thing I would change. Put the Desolations in reserve. But other than that, I feel like the list did what it's supposed to. Took a matchup the other guys didn't want. Fight it close. So that's pretty much the theme for the whole weekend. Take what nobody else wants and try to fight it close. But that's it for that. And I will get back to you guys with round 4.